The 12th President's Cup was played this past weekend at Liberty National Golf Club in Jersey City, New Jersey, officially marking the end of the 2016-17 PGA Tour season. And not surprisingly, and as we all predicted, the United States team came out on top for the 10th time, routing the Internationals 19-11. And it begs the question, are the Americans really this good, or is the international team just underperforming? Joining me now to discuss our Golf.com's Jeff Ritter and former SI and ESPN golf writer Pharrell Evans. And guys, what do you think? 19-11, Jeff, you were there, you saw many of it. It really wasn't even as close as the 19-11 score that we ended up with. Are the Americans really this good?
They were a buzzsaw last week, so no question. It was really the perfect storm. The Internationals ran into a complete buzzsaw. The rookies, the new guys on this team that hadn't played a team event before, particularly Justin Thomas, Kevin Kisner was great too, Berger, they were awesome. And those new pairings that Captain Stricker had at his disposal, everything worked, everything clicked, and no combination, no captain's picks. There was nothing Captain Nick Price could do. The Internationals were going down last week.
Bro, what do you think? Americans, they win the Ryder Cup. They dominate the President's Cup. Could we be in for a long run of American golf dominance in these team events?
I think so. As I was watching it, it reminded me of the all-white team that played against the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, there was no chance for that team over the past several days. I think one of the things that has to happen is that they have to reconsider, are they going to have this team of this hodgepodge of players from all over the world, minus Europe? Or are they going to have an all-Asian team or an all-Australian team? But they've got to get some sort of continuity there and solidarity around what the President's Cup teams means for an international squad. Because right now, the U.S. team, those guys play in the Ryder Cup, President's Cup, they play every year. And every other year, you're just throwing a bunch of guys together. So they have no chance.
Yeah, Jeff, you mentioned that the Internationals didn't come together, so you look ahead to the Ryder Cup. Well, you've got all these young Americans. Their top players are really under 28. You got Spieth, Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Berger, Brooks Koepka, all under 28. When you look at the Ryder Cuppers, all these guys are getting up there. Sergio's 36, Lee Westwood is 40, Martin Keimer's 31. This could be going on for a while, can't it?
It's fun to look ahead to the Ryder Cup now, isn't it? After what we saw last week. I mean, one of the biggest problems that held the international team back was their stars didn't show up. Hideki Matsuyama had a terrible week, Jason Day, Adam Scott. With Europe at the Ryder Cup, that rarely happens, and especially on a home game like they'll have at the next Ryder Cup. So you're right, Ryan. I mean, with the U.S., this new infusion of talent, all of a sudden the youth and maybe even the energy, it feels like is on the side of the U.S., but this is what makes the Ryder Cup so great and why it's so much fun to look forward to. Europe's not going to lay down. They're going to be ready at home, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun next fall. I do think it'll be very interesting to see what happens with them entering probably as the underdog and how they're able to rally around that, and I think it's going to be another fantastic Ryder Cup. And U.S. has momentum, but that's going to be, I don't think you take a lot out of this week into the Ryder Cup because that's really its own thing.
And no question, the Europeans, they'll be bonding and trying to get that camaraderie that they've had in many years past leading forward. Nick Price, it was interesting, guys. He talked about the lack of camaraderie on that international team, and he said it happened all year. He had trouble getting his guys to play practice rounds together throughout the season. He was trying to put certain pairings together when they were playing in the same tour events, and he said the guys weren't into it. Some guys wanted to go out early, some late, some play the front nine, some play the back nine. Meanwhile, Steve Stricker was putting those pairings together for the better part of 16 months, so it makes a big difference.